There's a type of person who hears, "Let's hang out this weekend," and their first feeling is not excitement, it's pressure, not panic, not sadness. Just that quiet little drop in the chest that says, "I really don't want to." And then the guilt shows up. Because society taught you that wanting to be alone means something is wrong. That if you enjoy your own company too much, you must be lonely, awkward, damaged, or secretly afraid of people. But what if that idea is completely wrong? What if some people do not avoid people because they are broken? What if they need solitude for the same reason other people need sleep? Because there is a huge difference between being lonely and liking to be alone. Loneliness feels like hunger. Solitude feels like breathing. One feels like something is missing. The other feels like everything unnecessary has finally gone quiet. For a long time, people who liked being alone got pushed into the same box: introvert, loner, antisocial. But those are not the same thing. Being antisocial means hostility. It means pushing against people. Avoidance is often fear: fear of rejection, fear of judgment, fear of being hurt. But some people are neither hostile nor hiding. They simply feel better when the world gets quieter. And that is a very different thing. Because some brains process stimulation more deeply. Sounds, faces, tone, expectation, tension, noise, and social cues. Psychologist Dr. Elaine Aron defines this as sensory processing sensitivity. It is a biological trait where your nervous system registers microdata that others simply miss. Think of it like this. If most people walk through a social gathering wearing a raincoat, you are walking through it wearing a sponge. You absorb every single drop. The music, the conversation, someone's facial expression, the pressure to respond correctly, the background noise, and the thing you said 30 seconds ago that you are already replaying. No wonder social time can get tiring faster. That does not always mean you dislike people. Sometimes it just means your system reaches full capacity sooner. And when that happens, alone time does not feel empty. It feels like reset. That is why some people leave a party early and feel guilty for 5 minutes, but relieved for 5 hours. That is why a quiet night at home can feel better than a fun night out. That is why silence can feel nourishing instead of sad. Not because they are failing at life, because their nervous system is asking for less input. And here is the part people rarely say out loud. The people who enjoy solitude most are often not disconnected from life. They are processing life more deeply. They notice more. They think longer. They need more time to sort through what they feel. While the world praises constant noise, constant messages, and constant availability, some people do their best thinking when nothing is pulling at them. That is where clarity returns. That is where creativity returns. That is where they can hear themselves again. Some of the deepest thoughts people have do not arrive in crowded rooms. They arrive during a walk, late at night, in the shower, or sitting alone with tea after the world finally gets quiet. So if you like being alone, that does not automatically mean you are withdrawing from life. You may simply be returning to the only environment where your mind can fully open. But there is an important distinction here. Not all solitude is healthy. As psychologist Abraham Maslow noted, healthy solitude comes from a place of abundance. Unhealthy isolation comes from a place of scarcity. Some solitude is chosen. Some solitude is armor. Healthy solitude restores you. You come back clearer, calmer, more patient, and more yourself. You are not running from people. You are returning to yourself. Unhealthy isolation feels different. It does not recharge you. It numbs you. You are not alone because it feels good. You are alone because it feels safer than being seen. That does not make you weak. It does not make you broken. But it is worth being honest about. When you close the door, are you protecting your peace or are you hiding your pain? Those are not the same thing. And a lot of people confuse them because, from the outside, they can look almost identical. Maybe this started earlier than you think. Maybe you learned early that the world was a little too loud, a little too fast, a little too demanding, so you built a private space inside yourself. A place where you could think, recover, and breathe. That was not failure. That was adaptation. You were learning how to protect your nervous system before you even had words for it. And maybe that is still what people misunderstand now. They think you are avoiding life, but often you are just trying not to lose yourself inside it. Because the truth is, being alone is not the same as being incomplete. You do not need constant contact to prove your life is real. You do not need endless noise to prove that you are happy. You do not need to be surrounded to be whole. And in a world that treats constant social access like health, choosing solitude on purpose can look strange. But it may actually be a sign that you know your limits, that you know your rhythm, that you know the difference between connection and overstimulation. So, if you are someone who genuinely likes being alone, do not rush to call yourself broken. Do not rush to assume you are rude, cold, antisocial, or bad at life. Maybe your brain fills faster. Maybe you process deeper. Maybe quiet is not where you disappear. Maybe quiet is where you come back. And if your solitude truly restores you, protect it. Stop apologizing for needing space. Stop letting louder people define what healthy looks like for you. Some people recharge in crowds. Some people recharge in silence. Neither one is morally better, but one of them might be the reason your mind stays clear, your emotions stay regulated, and your real self stays intact. So the next time someone asks why you like being alone so much, you do not need to defend yourself. You can talk about overstimulation. You can talk about energy. You can talk about how some minds need quiet to function well. Or you can just smile and say, because I feel better there. And honestly, that is reason enough. If this felt a little too personal, leave a comment below. Do you feel recharged by being alone? Or do you still feel guilty for needing it?